For more on the protests and how the Trump administration is responding to the violence is Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, the newest chairman of the Texas Republican Party. So, Lieutenant Colonel, first I want to say congratulations on your new position, one of the most sought-after positions in the entire country when it comes to the Republican Party. But now we see Democrats, for example, trying to use this latest example in Portland, accusing the president of overreach, saying that federal agents do not belong in the city of Portland. Your response?
Well, my response, and it's a pleasure to be with Alex, federal agents do belong any place where there's a threat to the sovereignty, the safety and security, and the domestic tranquility in the United States of America. That is in the preamble to our Constitution of the United States. Anywhere where there is a violation or a threat to the rule of law, the federal government should be able and will be able to step in. You know, we have seen this happen. Take, for example, what happened in St. Louis with the McCloskeys, where the St. Louis police, no one stepped in to do anything, and innocent, everyday Americans saw themselves and their lives threatened by a mob. So he is absolutely right, definitely to protect federal government property and federal buildings, things of that nature.
And we see right now, too, I think the McCloskey thing is a perfect example because a lot of people are saying if we don't have police, if they're defunded, as a lot are calling for, and you can't protect yourself with firearms, what type of country are we living in? At that point, you don't have a means to protect yourself at all. And so a lot of people are kind of asking, why then can't the president use this power that he has, as you said, in the Constitution, to protect these communities? In this situation, it is just a federal courthouse, but now some of his Democratic opposers, I'll say, are kind of making this argument that he wants to use this as an opportunity to test martial law in case he doesn't win the election, which, I mean, is a conspiracy theory within itself. But what does this speak about the state of the Democratic Party when this is the type of stuff that they're saying?
Well, the Democrat Party is grasping for straws to do anything. And again, it's very simple. Either you stand for the rule of law or the rule of the mob. And where we find ourselves in the United States of America is back early 1930s Germany, when Adolf Hitler, the chancellor, came to power. And a couple of the things that he did early on was to take away private gun ownership. And then guess what he did? They got rid of the police. And that was under the orders and the direction of his director of the interior, which is Hermann Goring. And guess who ended up taking over? It was the brown shirts. So I hear the left talking about these federal agents are now the secret police and things of that nature. But really what they're setting up is to have much the same as in Venezuela with the colectivos, who are these armed gangs that roam the streets to terrorize civilians, all at the behest of the government. That's what they want to have happen. So we have to have law, we have to have order, we have to have the rule of law. And if these Democrat mayors don't want to do that, then number one, you restrict federal funding to these cities. And number two, you make sure that you reinstate law and order, and that can be through the federal agencies.
And we also hear from the Democratic Party, too, that some states that a lot of people weren't suspecting of being in play are in play. They'll mention Georgia, they'll mention Arizona, and of course they'll mention your home state of Texas. And you, of course, are now the new GOP chair of the state of Texas. Do you think that Texas is in play for the 2020 race?
Well, maybe Texas was in play before I became chairman, but it's not anymore. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go on the offense. We're going to talk about the growth, the opportunity, the prosperity that Texas represents. The 10th, 11th largest economy in the world, 10% of Fortune 500 businesses and corporations are located, their headquarters here in Texas. So why would we want to resemble the places where so many people are fleeing from, California, Illinois, New York, New Jersey? So this is a layup argument to make. And as a matter of fact, I sent a letter to the Texas Democrat Party chairman challenging him to 2 Lincoln Douglas debates, and so far I've had crickets.
I mean, I wouldn't want to debate you either after that type of response right there. But when it comes to this, too, we hear a lot of conservatives saying that what you're talking about right now, going on the offensive, is something that Republicans need to be doing at this time. A lot of conservatives believe that they have the winning argument. The average American does not want to see unrest in their home cities. They do not want to see vandalism, rioting, looting, whatever it may be. Do Republicans more generally need to take that same approach?
They have to take that approach, Alex, and they have to understand that one of the reasons why President Trump is sitting in the White House is because he went on the offense. He was not defense-minded. He was not sitting back allowing other people to dominate and dictate the narrative. And that's what we're going to do here in Texas, because the things that have made Texas this incredible state where we have, the energy independence and the net exportation of our energy resources because of the oil and gas industry here. Why would we want to have someone like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the Green New Deal, that policy here in Texas?
No, and of course, a lot of people looking back to the 2018 Senate race. I mean, we had Ted Cruz, we had Beto O'Rourke, and a lot of people were saying that Beto O'Rourke was going to upset the Texas senator on those very same issues, whether it became taking guns away from individuals, doing away with gas, natural gas as well, oil, whatever it may be. And it ends up that those messages didn't resonate with the people of Texas. And I think as we get closer to the election, we're going to start to see that resonate a little bit more in Texas as well, and maybe see the president pull away in those polls that, as of right now, have it a very close race. But Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, I appreciate you coming on tonight, breaking down the state of the 2020 race. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Alex.